Hey, welcome. Weekend meditation day. So, how was silence yesterday? It's challenging, isn't it? I know we're such busy thinkers, but if we just open the door to wanting silence, that is the key to the next part, which is what we're talking about today. Our intuition sits in that silent place. It's funny because when I was prepping for this class, I kept hearing, pick up your crystals, pick up your crystals. And a lot of times after people attend a workshop that I teach, they say, oh, I want your intuition. I want. And my intuition, as most of you know, built by accident, but also on purpose. And I'll go through really briefly. I still practice yoga, but I practice yoga very diligently, as I still do, but even more diligently. And ran a yoga studio for about 8 years and taught yoga for 10. And what I always tell people is that when you're putting your mind through something like that, teaching yoga, maybe running a yoga studio, practicing yoga 3, 4, 5 hours a day, your mind actually changes and you go more into that quiet wavelengths. And then when I was pregnant, my intuition went right up. And whether it be the pregnancy hormones or who knows what. And I would just know things. I would know that teacher's going to quit, or I know that staff person's going to do whatever. My husband would comment on it. And then after my pregnancy and I was breastfeeding, it even went more up. And, my husband was like, this is strange. You seem to know things. And he's always been my greatest support and fan. I didn't even know there were people who did what I do for work, meaning intuitive coach. I didn't even know that, really back then, coaching wasn't a big business at all. My son is 18, so we're talking a while ago. And then I took intuition courses, which again, I didn't know existed. And that opened a world. And then a few years later, I started my business. So when I sat down to teach this class, I kept hearing, pick up your crystals, pick up your crystals. If you've ever been to my physical office, I don't have a ton of crystals, half a dozen of them. And I picked up these 3 just from my chair over there, my table over there, but there's some more over there. My lapis, my rose quartz, and my amethyst. And if you know me, I'm not like a crystal freak. There are people who are crystal freaks, which is awesome. And I truly believe that crystals hold energy. I didn't believe it at first, not that I was a doubting Thomas, but what? But when you hold a crystal, depending on which one it is, it actually affects the energetic meridians of our body. So rose quartz is all about heart. So if you're having a heart blockage, a sadness, it's a great one to have in your pocket or on your chest or heart. Recently, my son's been a bit stressed with pre-calculus, grade 12. And, stressed and anxious. And he says, what can I do? And so I, teach him meditation, which is a great technique, work with his mind, but also got him a grounding crystal. And he said it really helped him. Who knows? But the reason I brought the crystals out is because today is all about your intuition. Today's meditation is all about listening to the silence. Now, some of us in that silence, it will say, go to the crystal store. Others will say, go pick up a book. Others, it will say, be kinder to your husband. But your intuition is your most natural sixth sense that we often don't listen to. And the busier our mind is from yesterday's meditation, the less we can listen to the intuition. It's still there, but it gets crowded by the busyness. And you may or may not know, I co-wrote this book called You Don't Look Psychic with Lynette Brown. It's available on Amazon. It's a great book. It's super thick. And it basically teaches you how to wake up your intuition, right? Can you learn from a book? Yes and no. There's some amazing processes in the back. And if you actually record the processes and meditate them, it'll work. But just reading and actually application, like actually applying the meditations in the back, it'll work. Your intuition wants to be woken up to, and your intuition's gateway is silence. And that's why we meditate. Not the only reason we meditate, but it's why we taught yesterday. So go ahead and close your eyes. And get yourself into your deep, slow breathing. Inhaling and exhaling. Belly rises and belly falls. With your eyes closed, soften your shoulders down towards your hips. Let your buttocks get synced into the chair more. And notice the chattering of the mind, but how with each day you show up for meditation, it gets easier to observe it. Intuition and meditation, they're just muscles, just like bicep curls. They're no different. So with your eyes closed, let's do some of that pranayama breathing. pulling the breath from the base of the body up towards the spine, up toward the crown chakra, holding it for the count of 2, and exhaling down the spine. So let's together exhale and inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold the breathing at the top. Exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold the breathing at the top. Exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it for the count of 2. Exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep a visual of your breathing, lifting from the base up and exhaling from the crown down. Keep a visual like that going. Low and slow, calm and easy, deep and relax. Your breath could be 3, 5, 7. It doesn't really matter. Just keep the slowness going. And as you slow down your mind, just be present. We all have an intuitive knowing, the sixth sense that we're born with. This nudge is always there 24/7. And it is up to us to wake it up. Because the ego and the chattering mind wants to do nothing with that voice. The ego and the chattering mind wants to run the show. So we want to create space for the intuitive voice to wake up. And we create space in silence. As your mind is getting quieter, your breath is getting deeper, maybe the intuitive nudge is coming in. It might be something really simple, like go check out the crystal store. Or it might be something simple, like meditate more today. Or it might be simple, get in touch with that teacher or buy that book. You'll start to notice it comes more in the silence. And the willingness to listen to that silence is key. And just keep breathing. In and out. Belly rises and belly falls. As my voice gets quiet for the next 2 minutes, see if you can simply sit back and ask that intuitive voice to get louder. Try not to think. Try not to look for it. Just be present. It is there for each and every one of us. And just breathe. Deep, slow breaths. Noticing if during those 2 minutes, mind got crazy. Maybe during those 2 minutes, it was a lot to listen to the intuition. Maybe during those 2 minutes, a greater sense of peace and a reminder that you're on the right path came in. There isn't a right or wrong answer. There's just observation and breath. And the most important thing is your consciousness. Consciousness, again, is your point of focus. And your point of focus, like we talked about 2 days ago, opposite the same stick. The biggest thing with consciousness for a meditation like this is the willingness to pay attention. The willingness to listen to that sixth sense. The desire to let go. The willingness to surrender. Just keep breathing. Slow breath in. Deep breath out. Long breath in. Slow breath out. Remember, the intuition is there 24/7. Beautiful. I'm going to encourage you to stay here much longer if you can. And you're just noticing what you're noticing and being present. I hope you have the best day ever. Similar homework to yesterday. Do I give myself permission to get quiet? And within that quiet, can I listen to that sixth sense? Stay here longer if you have the time. And returning here as often as you can today. Sending you big love, a massive hug. Namaste.